What's up, nerds? What's up, nerds? Goz Master here with another Magic the Gathering puzzle quest. Today's quest, Ral Crackling Wit bundle. Ooh, the new, is it? Red Blue Walker available in the vault right now for IRL cash immediately. I'm going to go over what it is, what you get. We went from one Ral for all these years, and now we've got two more. So we got Ral number 3 in the vault. But is he worth it? Is it something you should pick up? Is he worth the IRL cash? I'll cover all of that and more. And a full review on something unique to help spotlight all of his abilities. That said, as always, gratitude and appreciation. Guys, WEBCORE, I hate saying these things and not really just letting you guys know. The contacts I have at WEBCORE that are liaisons to us as the content creators, very much appreciated. My goodness, such a great group of folks. Really appreciate everything you guys are doing there. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys so much. You guys are amazing, and I appreciate you guys giving me access to stuff. And I hope that this buttery smooth appreciation will compensate for some of the next words that are going to be following about this Planeswalker. WEBCORE has been phenomenal in their Planeswalker production. Is this the first big whiff, swing and a miss that we've had from them? Let's get into it. All right, so what do you get when you actually pick up Ral Crackling Wit bundle? You get a blue pack, a red pack, and a regular Bloomburrow pack. You get 2,500 runes, 120 pinks, and then some extra pinks if you're in VIP. 50 gold. Let's take a look at him right away. Let's get right into what he is. Ral Crackling Wit, 113 life, the strongest life total out of all of the Raleighes. Prestidigitation Pause, 7 mana, Lightning Chasers, 8 loyalty, Storm Apprentice, 14 loyalty mana. And his mana bonuses. Immediately, the biggest challenge I see are twofold with this, his abilities and his mana bonuses, and other than that, he's great. Yeah, his mana bonuses are absolute garbage. White, black, green, and loyalty get nothing. His main colors only get +4/+4, so immediately Ral 1 is already better. Although, I think for new players, I think Ral 2 is actually better because of the staircased 1, 2, 3, 4, and no negative to it. I love that because if you use Sunken Citadel, obviously one of my favorite cards at the standard right now, it immediately gives you a big bump. This does not. It brings you to a 6/6 for red and blue, but it doesn't necessarily give you anything else. So Sunken Citadel, this actually goes out of its way to not work with Sunken Citadel. So Cryptics might be better for you for your little mana conversions. We're actually going to be talking about lands here. We're going to do a little bit of spotlight there, but we'll get into that here in a second. Prestidigitation Pause. That's easy for you to say, Goz. 7 loyalty, destroy a block of 3/3 gems, then pick 2 of the first 4 spell cards from your library, create a copy of those cards in your hand. Why didn't you flip that? WEBCORE, why didn't you flip that? We're not going to be getting that much mana from the conversions. I mean, that's an easy, we should pick the cards first. I do like that we're fetching spells. That's nice that we lean into it. The big reality, though, is that give us a chance to get some mana into those. Sorry, I'm trying to correct the way I say that. Paladin Robin, I see you. So yeah, we're trying to get some mana into those cards that we're casting or fetching, so let us do that. Ral 1 and 2 both draw cards and get mana, so already those abilities are much better and they cost less. It's just, there's no comparison. Lightning Chasers, 8 loyalty, create 7 Izzet Otter tokens, then the first spell cards in your hand gain 6 mana. Okay, so that's where you actually get it. And it's only 1 more, so it's 8 mana or 8 loyalty to actually get done. So that's not as bad. It's almost like a functional A or 1A or 1B, basically. So Prestidigitation Pause, I'm never going to say that right, is 1A, and Lightning Chasers is 1B. And so the Otter tokens are blue-red, creature, Otter 0/1 token, Prowess. It's whenever you cast a non-creature spell. Deal X damage to the first opposing creature and to your opponent's Planeswalker. X is the number of Otter cards you control, including their reinforcements, up to 15. This ability triggers only once during each turn. Why? Ral 2, his third ability ultimate, you reduce the support shield every single time you cast a spell and use it. I'd prefer that to this. Just don't make it as strong. I really don't like limited to 1 per turn. Give it 3 per turn, something. Especially with facing 3 other creatures, if you're going to do damage that way, then it leans into us using these creatures, these otters, that are 0/1s, mind you. They don't offer any offense whatsoever. So the only thing they really do without pumping them up is they give you a body that takes a space on your creature side and then they don't have any physical presence. They can't block. They don't do anything. They're not prevent damage. They're just 14 loyalty for Storm Apprentice. Create 4 Storm Otter tokens. These tokens are supports. Prowess, same thing. Create a copy of the first spell card from your library in your hand. Then copy cards in your hand gain full mana. This ability triggers only one time during your each turn. Why? At the beginning of your turn, if you control another otter, deal X damage to your opponent's Planeswalker. X is the support shield. A little bit of synergy there between the otters, the third and the second. So they work together. Honestly, they don't, again, it's not. Let's get into the builds that I have for you because those are actually kind of fun. So if we're going to build otters, this is my peasant build. If we're going to focus on otters, let's go take a look at actually making those otters do something. How about Goz, Unstoppable Juggernaut? We're going to make those things 5/3 and swing for dome. They can't attack. I also have Sunspine Lynx in here, and I don't know why. When a player gains life, I think there's something to be done with this card somewhere, somehow. When a player gains life, deal X damage to your player's Planeswalker. X is equal to the amount of life that player gained. When this creature enters the battlefield, deal Y damage to your opponent. Y is the number of loyalty gems. So on enters battlefield, it does some damage, but for those creatures or those walkers you're facing that are running white, in any kind of white node you're going to be facing, this creature would be a nice little savvy addition to just pwn your opponent. We'll see. Run away together. Mwah, chef's kiss. I love this card. It was originally costed at 2 when it first came out. Now it's at 7. Still not bad. Return target creature your opponent controls to its owner's hand. Then return target creature you control to your hand. Blooming Blast I like a lot too. It basically breaks the board, gives them a gift of a simple token, and then deals 6 damage to your opponent's Planeswalker and destroys 6 random gems. Pearl of Wisdom. At the beginning of your turn, if you control another otter creature, this card in your hand gains 2 mana. Draw 2 cards. It's basically all that it is. All right, so to the real deal here. Portent of Calamity. This is absolutely a chase card inside of BLB. 13 mana, blues, 3 shield. At the beginning of your turn, pick and fetch one of the first 2 cards from your library. Period. Then, if that card is a spell, it gains 15 mana. All cards that weren't fetched this way are put into your graveyards. You don't may pick. You can't put both of them in there. And then the second other card that's in here that I think is just fantastic is Kidnap. 7 mana for a gifty 2 shield enchantment aura. So you can fetch this with Danitha. Your opponent creates a random simple token if you give them a gift. Don't give them the gift. Well, maybe sometimes you can give them the gift. When the support enters the board, target creature gains stun counter 1. If you promised a gift, instead, target creature gains stun counter 2. Here's the real kicker. I read that far, and I thought, I don't like stunning my creatures, and I stopped reading. That ain't it, my man. At the beginning of your turn, gain control of the first opposing creature until the beginning of your next turn. What? So if you don't stun them, which you get the option to, you can take a fully functional battle station. Kidnap's dope. Thundering Falls, I'm going to show you some more synergy too with it here in just a second. This is a land from MKM. When this support enters the board, investigate at the beginning of your turn, convert 4 gems to blue or red. Same thing for this support can't be enforced. Molten Tributary. This is one of the older ones, blue or red. And then Sunken Citadel. I mean, yeah, just because. There's a look at the deck. Click, click. You're going to see what we do. Let's go. It's Ashiok. He might kick our Ashiok. All right. Blooming Blast. Let's go ahead and get Kidnap out ASAPRIL. Actually, we're going to charge it up because we don't want it on board risking itself for no reasons. All right. There you go. And we're waiting for Ashiok. Paging Mr. Ashiok. Please. To the white telephone in the front lobby. All right, so blue, we're going to go just blue and reds. I mean, that's what you're doing. All right, so here comes our boy. He takes some damage. I should probably get my name out of the face. All right, their turn. I don't think they're going to be gaining much life, but we'll see. There's Grass. There's Grassy Pants. Are we up to our second yet? We are not. So we want to get up to our second. So let's go ahead and go red. Again, red or blue. That's it. You get no other mana gain bonuses, and that is brutal. Oh, come on. Come on. Brutal. All right, so we're going to go ahead and let Kidnap hit Kidnap. We're going to go ahead and get our otters. Is it otters on the board? I really don't use his first ability much unless I'm fetching a spell that I absolutely must have. We're going to say not now for the gift because we don't want to give it to him. And we're actually not going to take their thing right now. We're not going to take their, or shell down their creature. What we will do, though, is let them do their thing. That we're going to take some punishment for a turn. And then, we're going to take your girl. Boop, another otter. And now we've taken Atraxa Grand Unifier, right? Oh, it's 5 swap. Look at this. How dare you? How dare you, sir? I mean, we're going to pop our Kidnap, and I really don't want to, but I don't think we have a choice because they're going to do it anyways. So let's go ahead and do it there. All right, so we will give the gift here. So that does the damage to the first creature at 6 points, and that kills their dude. Does the damage there, and when we cast a spell, does the things with the otters. We got those guys on board, Kraz, but here you go. Look at that. How cool is that? Right? A 35-21 swinger for Dome with Graz on board. Thank you, Graz. Thank you, Goz. So these tokens can be functional if you build around them and you do the thing. You want to meet that down. I want this. Well, there it is. I have a red match. All right, there's Sunken Citadel. Doing the 8, swinging for 35-7. I mean, that's game unless they wipe my board, right? That's brutal. Well, again, Graz is going to go, so I'm going to lose that. I'm not going to get the ability to attack. Look, he did it. He did the thing. He did the thing, and now I'm penalized. But I still have the damage from my creature, so I have to cast a spell to do the damage to them. Got it? Does that make sense? You get the picture? You're laughing now? We'll get to go eventually. There we go. All right, so all of the things die. We're going to make run away together or something. I guess we'll go here. Boom. We're going to do that. Do we do the damage? That's what all I need to know. Not now. Bing, it only did 6. We got one more turn we can do that? Let's see. Because again, it's only based on their power and strength. Could go for another Kidnap. And that's another downside to the first ability. It only fetches spells, so if I want to fetch a support with Raw 1, I can actually just go dig for what I want or need. I don't necessarily need to have that. Oh, now I'm done. Now I'm dead. Look, I've got him all the way down to 4 life, and this Walker just doesn't have finishing power. Like, there's nothing I can do now. My creatures, it's all dependent on keeping those tokens on the board. Portent of Calamity is really good. I would like to have shown you guys that, but seeing as how that don't work. Yeah, let's go here. Boom. Boom. Portent of Calamity. All right, so we got all of these things out. We get to fetch our next spell. I've got to go grab another... What are you doing? What happened there? I got to go grab another Run Away Together and see if we can't make that functional for what we need. And I mean, their daisy chain's gone. Like I said, Ashiok usually does all of the combo things, so it's pretty difficult to get them going. And that might be the game. Let's see. Portent of Calamity. So I push the button. Let's go get a Sunspire Link. So that becomes the first ability in this. I'm going to go ahead and use my secondary ability again. But it's too late, I think. With a 38-30, I got to find a way to get rid of that dude. Blooming Blast is here. I don't need you. I don't need you. I don't need you. I guess we do this. That's game. I think we just lose, my friends. Yeah, that's game. Okay. Nope, that's game. I'm just going to go ahead and lock this out, because you don't need to see the end of that. I leave this game in so you guys can see clearly that the only way his abilities work to finish off an opponent is if your dude's on the board and you're casting the spells that you need to. Is that deck build? I don't know. Let's go show you a stronger deck build and see what we can do, because this next deck build is much more dominant. All right, let's get into my mythic build. This is going to be the Eluge the Shoreless Sea. 16 mana for a blue legendary 1/1 creature elemental fish. When this creature enters the battlefield or attacks, convert 2 gems to blue. But at the beginning of your turn, this creature gets +X/+X until the beginning of your turn. Then, the first card in your hand gains X mana. X is the number of blue gems on the board. This is more a standard modified version of, in my opinion, an Urza's Lord High Artificer, which costs the same, bigger body, a legendary human artificer. When this creature enters the battlefield, create an Urza factory token. When this support is on the board, your first creature gets +X/+X and gains the artifact subtype at the beginning of your turn. Convert X gems to blue. X is the support shield. So the more of these you cast, the bigger it gets. Urza Lord High Artificer is better. I'm not arguing that. But this is a standard version of that, in my opinion. And if this survives the first turn, it gets a pretty big body, believe you me. Next, we have Storm Splitter at 9 mana for an exclusive card that you could get when you actually ordered one of the box sets. Haste 1/4 Otter Wizard red when you cast a spell card. If not, create a copy of that card in your hand. Otherwise, reinforce this creature. So we're leaning into the duplication. Chaos Warp. This is available right now. This is absolutely a chase card. 16 mana for a red spell card. Pick up to one of the first 4 cards from your opponent's library. Fetch that card. Now this is where it gets interesting. If that card's a support card, destroy all opposing support cards. Otherwise, destroy all opposing creature cards. So if you pick a creature or a spell, whatever you're doing, you're destroying their creatures. If you pick a support, you're destroying all the supports. This is a dope little card. I would definitely recommend you chase that. Portent of Calamity, I like all things for free, so for 13 mana, at the beginning of your turn, pick a spell card, put it in your hand, gets 15 mana. In Kidnap, we're going to take some stuff. That's going to have some synergy with Run Away Together. I'm going to actually show you that in this play. Relic's Roar to give our tokens bigger bodies. Blooming Blast just to do the things we like. And if I haven't already talked about this, this is important. Polluted Delta. This is one of the lands from PM2. These lands are much, much better than I thought they would be. Shout out to my man Opera Stomper, who actually came out long ago and said to Chris and I and a bunch of other leaders, this card's dope. These are really good. And we all said, scoff. We read the card. We don't see anything in it that's worthwhile. I'm telling you, fans, if you've got these cards out there, like this is what I pulled the first time they ran the Mana Burn event, and I got the PM2, and I saw this, and I thought, meh, I've been playing with it. It's a studly card. Mana Field, convert 6 mana to blue or 6 gems to blue or black. When the support loses its shield, fetch the first land support from your library. That card gains X mana. X is half the number of blue and black gems on the board, or blue and black gems. That's the kicker. At the end of your turn, the support loses 1 shield. So every turn it's happening, this deals then 2 damage to your Planeswalker. That's the only downside, is you take a little bit of damage. So I would not recommend using this in events where it's X or less damage, but it is what it is. And you pair that with Sunken Citadel, you got yourself a nice little handy dandy combo. There's a look at the deck. Click, click. Let's show you what it do against Gizman Kazmina's build. All right, so here we go. We're going to hold all things. We're going to charge up our removal there, and we're going to go 5 match because we like 5 match. 5 match is our way to go, my friends. We're going to do, you know what, we like that so much. Let's do another 5 match because 5 match is the way to go. And then let's go with red match, and we did not get any into our loyalty. Well, not enough to trigger our first abilities, at least. There's Polluted Delta. Let's go. Let's start demonstrating that business right away if we can. Yep, there's blue. Next turn. All right. Let's go here into white, into red. Right away, immediately, taking the 2 damage, getting the support out. Notice that the support did not get all the way full mana. Interesting, because we literally just had barely not enough. Port of Calamity, let's go ahead and start implementing that. And let's go ahead and we're going to do Sunken Citadel into Portent of Calamity because we want to start getting our spells going. And then from any mana excess from that into Storm Splitter. He's so cheap. Hopefully we can get him out as well. We do want to make a match here to trigger the mana field from the Polluted Delta, but I don't know that that's going to happen. So, oh, there it is. Okay, great. So we got our support. We got Sunken Citadel on the board, made the conversion happen, triggered that. We also got our draw. And we got the extra support on board. Oh, you're such a booger butt. Leveler is such a terrible, terrible, evil, ugly thing. So let's send it away, shall we? Let's do that indeed. Let's go ahead and get our tokens out because we want them to be doing the thing next turn. Oh, we like 5 matches. Let's do the 5 match because life is good, but it could be better. Do some 7 damage to my boy, but let's just send him back to hand. We're not going to return our creature to our hand. We will, though, however, go into... do we have another 5 match? We do have another 5 match. Let's take that 5 match, shall we? Into another Landfall. Landslide brought it down. Let's do into loyalty. Some matches there. We matched our support, our land support, so it's triggering again. I love that card, man. It is so fun and so good. I know there's some more stuff that's going to go along with it that's a lot more synergistic, but I'm telling you guys, if you haven't played with those yet, go play with them. All right, so this is Portent of Calamity. So at the beginning of your turn, pick up and fetch up to one of the first 2 cards from your library. If it's a spell card, it gains 15 mana. Move all cards that weren't fetched this way into your graveyard. So you're feeding your yard with one of these 2 cards. So I'm just going to take Runaway Together, and then I'm going to draw another card that's actually a deal. You'll see that this has the 15 mana that we're looking for. We're going to unmute Relic's Roar. We're going to mute down Blooming Blast, and we're going to go make a mana field match here. Boom. So we get our blue conversion. Again, I think we destroyed our Calamity, which sucks. Roar, we're going to hit our little Ottered Bobs there, and it's going to make them a 42-28. What you think about that? I'm not going to use this Relic Roar because I want to save it for the next turn so I can win. Yeah. 0-7 tokens for the win, my friend. Portent of Calamity. I'm going to go ahead and take, this time I'm going to take Storm Splitter. And let's see what we got there. Now, we do have, let's do some shenanigans here. Let's have some shenanigans, shall we? Let's go ahead and toss Storm Splitter. We're going to go ahead and do our third ability, get Storm Otter on the board. Okay. Now, we'll do blue here. And whenever Blooming Blast asks you, would you like to do the thing, you say yes, because that gives them a token support, but it allows you to do that ground and pound to destroy the boards. So you do the extra stuff you want to. If they have creatures on board that can take damage, it takes damage. Let's go ahead and beef up our boy here. Let's beef our boys up. We're doing the thing. Blooming Blast again. Saying yes. Chaos Warp, yes, we're doing that. We want, what do we want? Let's take we don't want a time reversal. Let's do an Artificer's Epiphany. See if we can get enough mana into that. We can't, but we win anyways. There you go. It's goofy, but it wins. Like, it really wins. I want to do Ral stuff, but it's not Ral. This is named Ral, but it's really an otter. And so, what are my final thoughts? Let's get to it. So, Ral, Crackling Wit. What do I think? I think his life total's good. Good life total. Best Ral life total. And that's about it. I think it's unfair, as I've played enough with this guy. He is not a Ral. He's very different than Ral. Ral is, as we've come to know him, spell looping, leaning powerhouse of spell energy. He's got big spell energy, Ral. Hey now. Is at Viceroy. And he does. He's amazing. He's the best. He is the best Ral, period, hands down. Don't think of this as a Ral, because it's not. His abilities are different, and if you lean into what he actually does, he does very well. Think of the spell, the Storm Otters and the Izzet Otters, as supports for your spells. As you cast spells, it's doing additional things to edge out and trim off the creature and that can take damage on Greg's side, as well as taking off the edge of a few 10, 15 life points off of your opponent, which is significant enough. Again, WEBCORE, very clever. Clever girl. Clever, a well-designed Planeswalker. But if you come in looking for Ral like I did, you're not going to like it. Because it's not Ral. Again, my only criticisms here are prestidigitation pause, flip those. Come on, man. Let us have a chance at getting some of that. You'll notice I never used the first ability because I don't care. I never used it. What it's good for, though, is if you have and I didn't demonstrate this, but you have to have Storm Apprentice on board first, and then you use prestidigitation pause. And what'll happen is when you get those spells in hand, Storm Otter actually has prowess. So when you cast your first spell, you create a copy of the first spell card from your library into your hand. So now you have 3 copied spells as a minimum. Copy cards in your hand gain full mana, so all of those cards then gain the full mana. I didn't really lean into that much, but it can be very effective if you focus on it. But again, third first, then first. That actually makes that a 21 powered ultimate, and that really is the ultimate play. I think a lot of content creators really miss that. I know I did first pass until I actually sat after the fact and thought about it. That's really what makes the difference. That makes it actually somewhat good, guys. That makes that actually somewhat good. Is it otters are in and of themselves not over the top powerful? I really wish you'd have gave them like a limit of 3 maybe. That would have been stellar. Or reduce the power on it and give it unlimited. Make it a 5 damage instead of 15 or whatever it is, or the number of reinforcements. Make it a fixed amount of 3 or 4, untargeted, and that would actually be great. That would actually make this really worthwhile to lean into for the spell side of things. And then when you look at his deck stack, you have 6 creatures, 7 spells, and then 6 supports. For me, I know, I like spells. Y'all know I like spells. So I like to see a slot of 8 or 9 spell slots for it, but that's really not what this walker is. It really is a creature heavy spell as a main support, and then supports leaning into it that makes those really functional. Same with Storm Otter. I'd love to be able to do that more than once, but the synergy between 3rd and 1st as your real ultimate at 21 loyalty makes it a fun thing to focus on. But is it good enough for you to invest in? That's going to be up to you based on what you're hearing and seeing. My personal choice, and the reason I would opt to not to and maybe pick it up for gold at some point, is those mana bonuses. I mean, really, WEBCORE, that's really where we dropped the ball, was those mana bonuses. At least give me 5 on each of those. At least. Then it's equivalent to Ral 1, and we can't really complain about it. I would have actually preferred, with Sunken Citadel in meta, the 1, 2, 3, 4 stack, or 1, 3, 3 even. That would have given me 3, 5, 5 to play with Sunken Citadel on board, in which he plays really well with Sunken Citadel and those lands for PM2. My friends, I do like Ral Crackling Wit. Is he worth the IRL cash? That I'm not 100% on. And most importantly, is it worth it to you? That is something you would want to go with. Is he worth it for gold? I would actually say that if you're one of the Planeswalker collectors, there's a lot of fun, nifty things, especially if you're an Otter fan. You know who you are. This might be a really fun Planeswalker for you to pick up and enjoy, and it might be one of your fun ones to play with. That said, my friends, what do you think? Did you already pick him up? What was your response with him? How did you break him? What did you think? As always, again, gratitude and appreciation to WEBCORE. Thank you so much for getting me access to this. Planeswalker, not necessarily my flavor of tea, but definitely a fun one once you learn how to lean into what he actually is. Again, he's not Ral, he's Crackling Wit Otter, or Otter Ral, or NOT Ral, I don't know. Whatever works for you, he's a very different Planeswalker, and the synergy, as is common with WEBCORE, isn't obvious. You have to play with him a bit before you figure it out. Just like I said with Quintorius Candid, now everybody like, oh, Quintorius Candid, one of the best walkers. I've been telling you that's one of the best walkers in the game. He's good, man. I think Ral Crackling Wit with a bit more play could actually get a higher grade. What do I grade him now? I give him a B. I have to give him a B right now on my rating scale. And it might be even low as a B-. I think once we see some more synergy, or even if we got those mana bonuses to be adjusted, he could have been an easy B+, A- walker, and would have been a lot of fun to play with. With that said, I love your comments. If you're not in the Discord, get in the Discord, man. And as always, until our next quest, my friends, swords up. I haven't even joined at Training Grounds yet. That's how early, busy a day it's been for me. Scrolly, scrolly, scroll, scroll, scrolly, scrolly, scroll. There he is. You said the deck was dominant, Goz. Why did you lie? So, Goz, the deck wasn't dominant, was it? It's fun. It works. It does. But we'll see.